Well, welcome back. It's been a couple days since the last post. This is all filmed in one day, by the way, so if you're wondering why I'm wearing this shirt, I'm filming all this in one major shot. Well, last episode I talked about, fixing Canada first, putting Canadians first. As I said, Le Bloc Canada, the Canada Bloc. Now, if I had the financial resources to start a new political party, I would. So for now, it's just a concept I have. I wish people would go, hey, that's a great idea. We should actually do that. A political party for Canadians, run by Canadians, to fix Canada. But for now, it's just, I'll just say it's my trademark for now when I do these special episodes, when I talk about the problems with Canada. Now, I was talking about how we should fix our problems here. Well, one thing I honestly think Canada should do is stop spending so much money on other countries. And I'm not talking about, for example, helping Ukraine. That makes sense to me. That does make sense. But there's so many other countries out there that we send billions of dollars to that will never do anything for us. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to go a bit of history here. After World War II, Canada lent China what would amount to billions and billions of dollars to help them rebuild their country and their economy. China has never paid back a cent. If anything, they said, oh, we're ignoring those loans because that was a different political party back then. We're ignoring those loans. We owe you nothing. And what has China done? When Canada borrowed some money from them, they charged high interest. Yeah. At least when we lent money to Poland after they left the communist bloc, they said they were sorry. They couldn't afford to pay it back, but they will think about it down the road. That's the problem. We spend so much money fixing other people's problems that really they should fix themselves, but we don't fix our own. We have a housing crisis in Canada. Ask yourself why. The economy in Canada is garbage. I mean, 15 years ago, we basically were a great country. You had a good job. You made money. You paid your rent. Most people now can't even afford to pay rent. I live in Ottawa. I've been here for 5 years. Only because I've been here for 5 years, I've been managed to still pay my rent because there's only so much increase every year. If I were to move now, my rent would be doubled. I look at other cities like Toronto. I saw a video where this guy in Toronto has a 310 square foot bachelor apartment. He's paying more than I'm paying for rent. He's paying $1,800 a month just for rent. People in Vancouver can't afford rents anymore. They're now living 4 to 6 people in what we call laneway houses just to have a place to stay. It's insane. Ask yourself why. Because we're not fixing our own problems. We're taking care of fixing the world. We give so much money to everybody else. But here's one thing. It's one thing for, in a crisis. Like, for example, helping Ukraine now because they're fighting a war. We need to do that. But, natural disaster, yeah, we'll do that. But when we keep on giving money to countries that aren't in crisis, that really do nothing for us, we have to stop. We have to stop putting so much money into these countries that, honestly, if we ever had a big climate accident here, or a big horrible disaster here, they would do nothing for us. They would say, oh, we're sorry, but, deal with it. And that's the thing. We literally are basically helping other people who will never help us, who never show any real appreciation. And if anything, we're making Canadians suffer more. I mean, it's insane how bad quality of life in Canada has become. It has. I mean, we have a medical problem here. There's almost no doctors. We have a housing crisis like this, wouldn't believe. And economy-wise, I'll just put it this way. If I go back, say, even 12 years ago, I would go to the grocery store to get groceries for me and my 2 kids and my family. I would spend about, $200 every 2 weeks for basically 4, plus pets. Nowadays, your average household can't even afford that. Like, for example, it's just me and my pets. And I don't eat a lot. But even then, when you think, if I had a normal diet and I had a family, I'd be spending $200 a week just for the minimum. You look at the facts. Our economy is so bad that more and more people are using food banks to get by. That needs to be fixed. We need to fix that. We need to fix our housing problem. So that's why I said the Bloc Canada, the Canada Bloc, should basically focus on Canadians, fixing Canada for Canadians. Put Canadians first. I mean, the Bloc Québécois has the right idea. Quebec for Quebec. Canada should be for Canada. We should really stop trying to financially take care of the rest of the world when we are ourselves struggling. Because let's be honest, I don't want to be part of the United States. Because here's a country where the education level is so low that you watch these videos, people don't even know what a quarter of an hour is. By the way, it's 15 minutes. And 3 cubed is not 9, it's 27. You know, I mean, most people in the States don't even realize that they're not Americans. They're Statesians. America is a continent. We're North America, there's Central America, and there's South America. You don't have people in Europe saying, I am European. No, they identify by the country they're in. And that's what I think we should start doing more. We should be proud to be Canadians, but it's hard with this current situation we're in now. I mean, yeah, it's upsetting. You have politicians who really don't care. You have one politician who cares more about making a minority feel empowered to the point where it's hypocritical because the majority of Canadians' rights are taken away. These draconian laws that force us to respect people don't work. Because I tell you one thing, my parents were both born in the 20s. My brother and sister are boomers. I'm not, I'm Gen X. But we were raised to respect people individually, not this forced respect. And I grew up, friends of all backgrounds, sexual orientations, we didn't care. Oh, and by the way, just so I can piss off some more people, there are 2 genders, male, female. Sexual orientations, there's a ton, and that doesn't bother me. But the fact of the matter is, when you're telling me I have to look at somebody who says they're a female so they can walk into a men's bathroom, that doesn't work with me. Because when I was younger, we had people, and this is a shock for Gen Z, we had people who did transition. They literally had the operation, went from male to female and vice versa. But before they actually were physically different, they just said they were gay. And that's the fact. You don't believe me? Go back and watch old WKRP. There's an episode where they actually deal with that. Yeah, old TV shows dealt with that. So we're not as ignorant as this Gen Z generation thinks we are. We've been dealing with this stuff a long time. We dealt with racism, bigotry, homophobia, all that stuff before you were even born. But that's the problem. We have one leader who's in power who's literally shoved this stuff down our throats so that it's a double standard. Because honestly, if someone gets their feelings hurt because they heard something offensive or they were offended, they get their feelings hurt and they can get you fired, well, I got news for it. It should work both ways. Because a lot of times I'm offended by what they say. Some of these things that people say is very offensive to me. I'm hurt by it, but I just seem to have no power to get any repercussions against them. So this whole thing with this current situation, with these draconian laws that basically are one-sided, doesn't work. It's not how you fix Canada. You don't fix Canada by forcing people to put a minority above everybody else. That's not a democracy. That's not Canada. And you have another political party that literally flip-flops on every decision they make. And of course, you have another political party that, well, I said that before, they're going to win the next election, no doubt about it, but no one likes the leader, and plus the fact, some of the ideas they have are a little bit, you know, they're not as bad as the conservatives in the States, because Canadian conservatives are more middle of the road. But I honestly think Canadians, you and me, deserve a political party that's realistic, that puts Canadian needs and Canadians first. That's why I came up with Le Bloc Canada, the Canada Bloc. And if you're wondering why I put Le Bloc Canada first, well, here's some news for people in BC. Canada doesn't start in British Columbia, it starts in Quebec. And French is officially our first national language. So, Le Bloc Canada, the Canada Bloc. Well, that's it for this rant today. Next time, well, I might not talk about politics right away, because frankly, there's other things in the world I want to talk about. But for now, I'll leave it out to you. What do you guys think? Does Canada deserve a realistic political party? Le Bloc Canada, the Canada Bloc, that's going to put Canada and Canadians first over everything else. Let me know in the comments, but until then, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you probably in about another week. Until then, take care of yourselves. As I say in my other videos, do your best to stay healthy. Do your best, it's hard, stay happy, and do your best, if you have to fake it, to do it, but do your best to stay positive, and we'll see you then.